Welcome back to Murphy Family Kitchen. Today we are going to make a family favorite. It's a comfort food. I think it's something that a lot of people enjoy. It's very simply meatloaf. We're going to have a nice meatloaf dinner. You can pair whatever you like with this. I make cauliflower mash a lot of times, or cream spinach, a lot of different things you can have with it. That's totally up to you, but I'm going to show you how I make the meatloaf. It's very simple. And I'll run through the ingredients real quick before we get started. So I use 3 pounds of ground beef, which I have in my bowl right here. I'm going to use half of a medium-sized onion, chopped up into nice small pieces. I have 3 eggs that I'm going to put in there. Instead of breadcrumbs, I use pork rind panko, actually which I grind up myself. I buy a large bucket of pork rinds and then run them through the food processor, and I'm going to use 1/3 of a cup of that in this mixture, and then I have 2 tablespoons of minced garlic that will go in here. This is a very simple dish. Everybody enjoys it, so we'll go ahead and put it together. Before we do, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments afterwards, please stay till the end and then leave those for me. I will respond back to you. So let's get set up and we will begin making some meatloaf. Okay, we're ready to start getting this all mixed together. I went ahead and I chopped up the onion, half of the onion, and I got my eggs put out in a bowl. I do that in advance in a bowl because when I don't do it, I spend half of my time trying to dig out the piece of shell that I lost in the meat. So I've learned to do it this way. It just works out better for me. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and start getting the meat mixed together. And first thing that I'm going to do here is put my onions in and get that all incorporated. Seems like a lot when you're just starting out here, but it really does do a nice job of cooking down, and you don't really get a strong onion taste in the meatloaf. Very enjoyable. We take our garlic, same thing, we'll kind of spread that around here. We'll mix that through. And this is 3 pounds of meat, so it can take a lot of strong flavor. And I'm going to put my egg in, mix that around. And then finally, we're going to take and put in our pork rinds, or pork rind panko. I grind these pork rinds down myself. It's just cheaper to do that. I've seen pork rind panko available for sale. It's everything that I've seen is really about a 12-ounce container for like $15 or $16. I've seen some around $12, but at Sam's Club, I can get this big container of pork rinds for a little under $6, and it truly is just the same thing. It's just ground up pork rinds, and this works out great. So I always just do that myself instead of buying it pre-done. But it is available for you if you prefer to do it that way. And while I was doing this, I also have my oven preheating to 350. I want to make sure that you do that in advance as well. And that looks good. That's all nice and incorporated. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer that over to my baking dish. And this was always a favorite for my kids when they were younger. I used to make this a lot and make it on a Sunday afternoon. A lot of times during football season, we're big football fans, and I would make it into the shape of a football, and so it got to be known as that in my house for a long time. Was I going to be making a football for dinner? Get that put together. Shaped however you want it. You can use any size dish that works out for you for the amount of meat that you're using. Like I said, I use 3 pounds when I do this, and this will feed us for a couple of days. And then what I'm going to do here is I have a mixture of salt and pepper. It's 50% salt, 50% pepper. I use this on brisket when I'm smoking brisket, and so I always have it available. And you notice I didn't put any other seasoning in the meat before I did this other than the onion and garlic. So I like to put this over the top of it, and it gives it a little bit of a crust. This is really, really good on any kind of beef. Salt and pepper is just hard to beat when it comes to seasoning beef. So we're going to go ahead and put a fair amount on there. It'll give it a little bit of a crust while it's cooking. And then as the meat begins to render and releases the juices, then it'll pick up what was left in the pan and it'll all soak together. Now that we have this ready, it's time to go in the oven. We'll put it in at 350, and this will take about an hour and a half. So an hour and a half from now, we will come back and we'll check it out and see how we did. Okay, our timer just went off here on our hour and a half for the meatloaf, so let's take a look and see what we have. Take this out, sit it here. That looks really, really good. It smells wonderful. Get it on the hot plate there. And I'm going to let this rest for just a few minutes. We'll lift it out, put it on a cutting board, and then we'll take a look at it. Okay, I put my meatloaf out on the cutting board. It looks wonderful. That salt and pepper that I put on the top gave it a nice little bark, something that just tastes great on beef. The salt and pepper is amazing. It's so simple, but yet it's great. So we're going to cut a little slice off of here and take a look and see how we did. And it's holding together really nice. It looks great. It smells wonderful. We're going to pair this evening with some cauliflower mash. If you stay tuned here for just a minute, I'm going to add the cauliflower mash to the end of this video so you can see it's very easy, very short, and it's wonderful along with the meatloaf. That's really good. The meat is nice and moist. Remember, we have those eggs in there, and really makes a big difference to keeping the meat nice and moist. So this is delicious. I hope that you will try this. I hope that you enjoy it. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do. That helps me out tremendously. Hit the like button for me. Leave me a comment. Leave a question if you have one. I will get back to you. I'll have the recipe for this down below, and I have some links to some of the items that I use while I'm cooking in case you're interested in any of that. But I really do enjoy doing this for you, and I'm glad that you're here. I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye. So cauliflower mash is one of our favorite side dishes to go with meat at dinner time. And so we're going to go ahead and make that today. We're going to start with a full head of fresh cauliflower. And I've already cut the leaves off. I have a bowl here just for scraps, but I just want to show you that how easy this is to do. I just reach in right next to the core and cut off these florets here, and then just cut them into reasonable sized pieces. They don't have to be very small, just enough that they'll go into the food processor after we boil them for a little bit. We're going to boil them until they're fork tender, but not really mushy, and we're going to let the food processor do its thing, and we're going to add the rest of our ingredients to it, which is butter and cream cheese, some salt and pepper. That's really about it. You can add other things to it if you want to. You can put garlic in if you want to make like a garlic mash. That's very good. You can put red pepper flakes in it if you like something a little bit spicy. There's a lot of different ways to do it. This is really just the main recipe for cauliflower mash, and then you can alter it to your own liking. So that's all there is to it to preparing this. So this is ready now. We're gonna fill it with water, just enough to cover all of the cauliflower. I'm gonna put some salt in it to help it boil a little bit faster and to help flavor it a little bit. Once it's fork tender, we're gonna take it off and strain it, and then we'll move on to the food processor for the actual mash. Okay, our cauliflower has boiled now. It is fork tender. So we're gonna take it, I've drained it already, and we're gonna get it into the food processor here and try not to make a mess while we do it. There we go. All right, I got lucky that time. Get this out of the way. And then to this, I'm going to add 2 ounces of cream cheese and 4 tablespoons of butter. And I'm just going to add those directly in here. And I'm going to let the machine do its thing. So we're going to start to incorporate this. Okay, and we'll just have to check on it, move things around a little bit so that it all gets down to the blades and we get a nice, even, and smooth cauliflower mash. Looks pretty good. And then I'm going to add in 2 ounces of heavy whipping cream, and this just helps it stay nice and creamy. And 2 ounces is a 1/4 cup. Take a look. That looks really nice. I don't know if you can see that well or not, but it's nice and smooth. There are no chunks in it. It resembles potatoes, but it's not. And very low carb and very good. This will go with whatever meal you're preparing. It's an excellent side dish. And there are many, many things you can do with cauliflower. So our cauliflower mash is done. We're just going to take a little bit out here and take a sample. It looks really good. It's nice and creamy. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. And a little bit of taste. Let's see how we did. That is really, really good. I really enjoy this. I've been eating this so long, I don't really miss potatoes all that much, and I really love potatoes. This is a great dish in place of that. If you're missing potatoes, you make cauliflower mash. You can flavor it however you want. You can put garlic in it. You can put any type of spice in it that you like. It's really good. The creaminess of the cream cheese, butter, and the heavy cream really, really make for a special dish. So I hope that you enjoy this, and I hope that you'll give it a try.